Alright folks, we got another video today. This one is a little different. I've always liked the Chevy AD trucks, the advanced design trucks, and the best one of all of them I thought was the 5-window. So like an idiot, I bought a project. I actually bought a 3/4 ton truck. It's outside. The truck itself is going to be junked. The only thing I took off here is the cab and the front clip, the running boards, and pretty much the rest of it's going to the scrapper. If you're ever going to consider a project like this, be prepared. This is a long project. This is not something you're going to do in a weekend. Okay. First of all these trucks are so old now. This truck, this cab that you're looking at, 70 years old. This is 1949, and no matter what, it's going to have problems. So there's going to be sheet metal parts that need to be changed. You can see I've already changed the cab corners down here. I cut them out and re-welded them, and then we get replacement parts and pieces, which are very inexpensive, by the way. That part there, that pre-production piece, is like $34. That was like $20-something. They're not expensive at all. But you got a lot of work to do and a lot of decisions to make. Now when this thing gets done, it's going on an S10. I already own the truck. I'm going to take this cab and buy or make or find a bed and put it on S10. My idea is I want to sit down, turn the key, drive. That's it. I don't want to fool around. The reason I'm making a video today was to tell you there's a skill set that you're going to have before you start doing this. There's a couple of pitfalls. I got this cab. We're building another truck just like this, 2 doors down. And they said, man, we got this great deal. We got a guy that can sandblast that cab. You can see we can sandblast this whole cab and both the doors for $200. Wahoo, man. Where do I sign up for that? To sand all this paint off would take you a long time. So I said, sure, put them on my trailer, took them down, sandblasted them. There's the doors and cut fenders and stuff. They got it all sandblasted out. And they said, well, as part of the sandblasting, we're going to give it a corrosion preventative coating that goes on here. And I said, that's fine. That's great. Stick that on there. Well, then I decided, well, you can see where I put the cab corners in. I decided, well, let me paint the inside. So I used what I thought was a good paint. Let me get a can of it here. Right here. Self-etching primer, Rust-Oleum. Now this is just for the inside of the cab. This is not what you would want to use to shoot paint over, okay, like doing the outside of the cab. So I wiped the inside down with lacquer thinner, and then I shot that stuff in there. Well, let me explain to you about that coating they put in here. You guys getting the picture here? Whatever that coating was on here, it makes it impossible. Look at this. Impossible for that paint to stick. The reason I made this video, or making this video, is so you could imagine what would happen if you were to, and the rest of what was missing here, I just took compressed air and I just blew it, and all this paint came back out. All that paint, that just blew out with compressed air. It turns out that coating that they put on there must be sanded off with 80 grit, and then the surface is wiped down with lacquer thinner, acetone, or something, some light thinner, and then immediately repainted to keep the rust from coming in. You can see on the back already there's some rust here starting, a little patch of rust here starting up, little pieces and parts. But that's really not a problem, because when you hit this with a DA with 80 grit, that rust is going to disappear instantly. So that's really not that big a deal. they make a surface etch that you put on bare metal, and then once that surface etch is applied, you can put primer right over it. It'll stick like crazy. So the point is I was trying to make is do your homework, okay? Had I painted finished paint over that primer, the first time I'd gone to the car wash, my paint job would have come and got blown right off. That would have been a heartbreaker for sure. So all the body work that's got to be done and then have to be redone, that would just be horrifying. So that's not good. This cowl portion is open here on this side because the cowling, I don't know if I got the old pieces or not. The old cowling itself, here's a cab corner. It's all rusted off. In 70 years it's going to happen. So I bought a new cowl piece. This was not expensive, but it did not have the vent in it. So I had to cut. Hang on here just a little bit. I had to cut the vent out of the old one and weld it into the new one. And it's not done yet. There's still more welding and grinding to do. But when I get done, it'll look exactly the same as it was originally. I didn't want that smooth look. I'm going to retain the cowl vent. And I'm going to retain the side vent here because I just think it's cool. And then on this side, they had a heater that utilizes this outside vent, but it was aftermarket. And I've never seen one for sale, but I'm going to try to find one. This is where the motor goes through here. That's where the heater lines go through there. I'm going to see if I can find one. We'll see if I can. If I can't, I can't. But if I can, I can. So, anyway, like I said, this will be powered by a V6 powered S10. So we still have more work to do. We have a little bit of rot down in that corner. It's got to be taken out. We got some, I've already done the cab corners. There's a little spot above the rear window. It's got to be cut out and rebuilt. You can see where the rust has come through there. That shouldn't be a big problem. But in all of this, you can see this corrosion here. This will all be replaced by that. So anyway, I just thought I'd send you a little video. My personal life has gotten where I've got more time, more leisure time. I have actually retired now. So you would think that would leave you 8 hours a day to do everything, but really it doesn't. It gives you more time to play catch up. So I'm still trying to play catch up with everything else. So we'll have to see. I've learned some new skill sets here. This is joint compound that we would think of as being Bondo. When this truck was made, this is lead. That one is lead. This great big one here is all lead. Okay. When I took this outer cowl panel off, this was a giant lead patch here. And I had to melt it all out, scrape out of there with a wood stick. I've never had to work with lead before. It would be too scary for me to put lead in, but I'm not allergic to taking it out now. I can take it out just fine. But I wouldn't want to try to pretend I could lead something in. That's another skill set I just don't need. I don't plan on using lead. All in all, this body's in pretty good condition. I'm not really making a video about doing this 5-window pickup because if you look on YouTube, there's millions of videos on there. There's a whole series of how to rebuild these trucks. So then it's just personal taste. For example, in here on the firewall, all of that stuff I don't need. So all of that stuff is coming out. I'm going to cut all that piece out. I'm going to put in a flat piece of sheet metal. So that's going to be just flat metal when I'm done. So anyway, I don't know how much of this future stuff I'll put on here, if I'll start making regular videos or not, or maybe just here see what I did. Right now I'm in the process of let's just get this cab finished with everything that's easy to do before it's mounted on the truck. Because once it's mounted on this SN, I'll actually clean out this bay in the garage and park the S10 in here, take its cab, junk it, and then mount this cab, this 49 AD cab, on top of the S10 chassis. And that way the whole thing will just take up one bay. Right now I'm taking up 3 bays for one project, and that ain't good. So anyway, as soon as I get that done, I might start making some more videos. But this is just, it's a lot of work, especially inside one stall of a one-car garage. So it's a lot of work. All right, so Ozark Patriot, I'm out.